y'all. It is Friday evening and I am in the basement studio of our humble bungalow, which we call Crooked Finger Farm. And I am putting this video together, putting the final touches on it for you. I'm a little sleepy-eyed because I did work all day on the psych unit. I am a registered nurse, as you know, and I currently work on a psych unit. It is my weekend to work. Ooh, somebody's behind me. But I wanted to get this video out for you, so I'm feverishly working to do that tonight, and hopefully by tomorrow it'll be out. And you'll be watching it, and I'll be working back at the hospital. So think of me when you're having fun watching this video of this gorgeous, like, I had a love affair with this little nightstand. At first, it was so ugly, and it turned into something so beautiful. It just transformed. I had a couple moments where I almost like put it back in the trash, but I worked it through and I cannot wait to show you. Here's a little glimpse. That was just a little sneak peek of what it turned into from this. And so here we go. I will just take you through. I'm not going to waste too much of your time going through all kinds of stuff that's not necessary right now because I am also tired. So in the words of my husband,
let's go do this.
Let's do it. So you guys remember what this little nightstand looked like. It was the one that had all the veneer damage that I had to fix. Well, I'll post a link to that. I start this project just like I start every project. Give it a good cleaning with my shop vac and then some TSP cleaner. Make sure you wipe back after you clean with TSP to get rid of any of that residue. I usually remove all of the hardware, which is what I'm doing here, but a little tip is to mark your hardware where it came from so you can put it right back in the same spot. At this point, I went on and fixed the veneer. There's a whole video showing you this process, which I will link in the description if you want to check it out. It's, I think, called How to Fix Damaged Veneer, something like that. But that was a whole process in itself. Then I moved to Bondo. This I took outside. It's very smelly and fumy. You mix it up with a putty knife and cream hardener. Then you smooth it on the surface where you want to use it. It dries in about 15-30 minutes. Come back with a sander and sand it smooth, and it works like a charm. Wait till you see how this turned out. I was certain there was going to be some surprises waiting for me underneath of all of this ugly paint. So I busted out my citrus strip, which I love, this citrus stripping agent. You can use it inside. It doesn't really have a whole lot of noxious fumes. So you just smear it on the surface you want to use it on and then go ahead and wrap it with some saran or plastic wrap to kind of seal it in. It helps to activate, I think, the chemicals, and it makes it work faster. Then a little bit later, about a half hour to an hour later, you come back, you peel off your plastic wrap, and you get to do some gold digging. Underneath you find treasures, and this time I really found some treasure. Check out what was waiting for me under that paint. Oh my goodness, beautiful inlays. I'm so glad I decided to use the citrus strip and uncover this. I can't even imagine putting paint on it to begin with. Just a recap of what it used to look like. And now at the halfway point. Sliding back over to the once buckled veneer, here is what happens after you use Bondo. It is smooth, it is solid, and it is not buckled anymore. I went ahead and did some primer 123 Zin Bin because this had a lot of nasty paint on it, but we're ready to go. Then I realized after the fact that I really wanted to strip these feet. I should have done it to begin with before priming it, but you live and learn. So just a quick application of the citrus strip and a little elbow grease, and the feet were ready to match the beautiful veneer, the inlays that I found. While I was at it, I tidied up some other things, a little bit of caulk. I really don't like gaps in paint, so I go ahead and use caulk a lot. And I am just like really impressed with the Bondo. Moving right along, I had chosen the color of Faded Burlap by DIY Paint Line, and I really wanted something that was kind of neutral, so I thought this would be a good match. And then I had the bad idea of adding some liquid patina, which usually looks pretty good on furniture pieces, but this piece was turning out so classy that it just didn't want to be dingy anymore. So I got my rag, I tried to wipe it back, but it did not work. I was bleh. I didn't like this piece anymore. I didn't like the color. I was so discouraged. And to top it off, the nasty old paint was bleeding through everywhere. You see those dark stains that kind of look like somebody splashed oil all over it? Well, that's called bleed through, and you really have to cover it up with some sort of primer. I didn't have clear, I only had the white, so I took it outside and gave it a good spray. Then I realized, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? I sprayed the feet that I spent all that time on. Ugh. After walking away for a little while, catching my breath, catching some fresh air, I had a eureka moment. I have this cowgirl coral, and I haven't used it yet, and it's such a pretty color. And I have this sea sponge. I'm supposed to use it for my face, but I don't use it for my face. I might as well use it here and put a textured finish on this. Oh my goodness, this was the answer. Look at this yummy texture. Kind of looks like an adobe, sort of, I don't know, just beautiful, beautiful texture. I loved it. It was such a good choice. But I thought it needs something else, a little bling. So grabbed the Moonshine Metallic from Dixie Belle and did a little dry brush technique, which you will see here. This is the fun part, guys. This is where the magic happens. After dry brushing, I added a little gel stain to the feet of this piece. I used an artist brush and I just kind of painted it on very carefully. I wanted it to match the colors that were in the inlay. Then, couldn't leave the feet out. The feet had to bling too, so a little shine on the corners. All right, everyone, stick with me. We're almost done. This is the last step. This is the wax. I chose to use the Jolie finishing wax. Actually, it's all I have left, but it's just as good as everything else. And so I just used my soft brush, waxed it on. Then, of course, I cannot do anything, finish anything without using my Daddy Vans furniture polish on the raw wood surfaces. I used it on the inside to help the glides, to help the drawer glide, and put the drawer back in. Oh my goodness, we're almost there. Wait till the finished photos. You have come this far. This thing is so pretty. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Here is the before shot. And remember how buckled and nasty the veneer was? Now look at this piece. Oh my goodness. So beautiful. The cowgirl coral was perfect, perfect, perfect. I love this piece. I hope it goes to a good home. I hope it gets loved for another 50 years. And I hope it brings somebody as much joy as it brought me. If you guys are still here watching, you might as well go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I put videos out pretty much every week. I'm always finding neat things to work on, and I love doing these videos. So subscribe, hang around. We have a lot of fun here. Right, Gus?